Big deal. That's always went with the territory. I'll see you in Disneyland.
My defense, because I am such a part of it. I mean, I obviously I'm going to bear the consequences, so why not bear the responsibility?
Okay, sir, is she still alive?
You're alive.
When was the last time you saw her?
Mama, I killed Dean.
Brian?
Ma'am?
What are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome again for another week.
Welcome back.
I'm Shannon.
Back. Oh, I'm Gina. We're doing that again? Okay, we're introducing ourselves again.
We just introduce ourselves every once in a while so people know who we are.
Sorry.
Which one's which? I don't know. They look so much alike.
They look like sisters. Yeah. We get that a lot.
You know how like people morph into their dogs? Me and Gina morph into each other.
Yeah, since it's the low battery, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Our iPad's not charged all the way.
Yeah, so our episode is going up a little bit late this week because
you can hear it in her voice.
As you could tell. I don't really have a voice, but this is very, very, very good compared to what I have sounded like in the last 10 days. I went almost an entire week with absolutely no voice, and this never happened to me before in my life, where like you try to talk and literally nothing comes out.
Somebody upstairs is saying she talks too much.
Yeah.
I needed her to be quiet and silenced for a little while.
Everybody in my house was very, very happy that I was sick. I'll tell you that. They were extremely excited.
They're like, it's so quiet.
And then when I went to the doctor and the doctor told me not to talk for 3 days, they were even happier about that. They're like, yes. Can she get this more often? But yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be like this for because I'm well. I feel good. I've been back to the gym for a week. And I don't have like this. I don't know. Maybe this is my new normal.
That's her new
So
voice.
I apologize. I know it's very annoying. I would not listen to a podcast if somebody sounded like this. So.
I disagree. I think it sounds cute and sexy.
But I do have a super cool story that I didn't share with you purposely because I wanted to share it on here.
Okay.
But it happened like last week, maybe. Yeah, happened last Wednesday. Yeah, so like a little over a week ago. So, as you guys know, I work at a school, and one of the teachers that I work with, her brother is a magician and a mentalist, and he works at
Don't tell me.
At the Magic Castle. Yeah, he works at the Magic Castle
in Hollywood.
Yeah, so if nobody is familiar with the Magic Castle, it's like a big thing here in Los Angeles, and
super hard to get into.
You have to know somebody who's a member. To get in.
You have to know a magician or a mentalist or somebody who is a member to get in.
Yeah. So, so he came to my school and he put on a show for all of my students.
Oh.
And it was so badass. It was so amazing. And I kept telling the kids, like, you guys have no idea how lucky you are. Like, people pay so much money to, you know, like, or even if you have money, like sometimes if you don't know anybody, you can't get in. Like you have to know someone to get in. So, so he put on this amazing show for all of our kids. And, so then afterwards we were just kind of hanging out and he was just kind of going like person to person. People were like, oh, like they didn't want him to leave. Like the adults, the teachers didn't want him to leave. Everyone's like, oh, could you do another trick? Could you do another trick? So he was just kind of like making his way around the room and doing like little tricks.
And who is this? How's he really?
One of the new teachers that works in the other classroom, it's her brother.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So he came up to us and I was standing with, you know, a group of my coworkers and he said, Gina, are you right-handed or are you left-handed? And I said, I'm left-handed. And he said, okay. He said, take your left hand and make a fist and just put it out in front of you like this. And I was like, okay. So I did that. And then he went over to the desk and he picked up a black Sharpie. And on his hand, he wrote an X. Just like right here on his hand, he wrote an X with a Sharpie. And then he said, hold your hand out. And mind you, he was kind of still, we were like this far apart. He never touched me. He never, nothing. Like we weren't that close to each other. So he took his hand and he went like this. Like to where he kind of like went to like rub off the ink that he had just put on his hand. And because it was still wet, it kind of smeared a little bit or whatever, but it's Sharpie, it's permanent. So then he took his hand and he put his hand like this, like put your hand out like a fist. And he took it off of his hand like this. And he kind of went like this over my hand. And then he's like, okay, I want you to turn your hand over like that. And son of a bitch, if I didn't have a fucking X on my hand, right? I had a black Sharpie, like an X on my hand. And I was like, everybody, my boss literally looked at me and he's like, I'm sweating. He was like, dude, I'm going to pass out. He's like, how did that happen? I was like, I don't know how he did it, but I'm leaving work and I need to find the closest tattoo shop on the way to the gym because I'm getting this tattooed on me.
You're like getting it.
I literally drove. I left work early. I went to a tattoo shop on the
way to
the way to my gym, and I had it.
Let me see.
I had it tattooed on me. It's still healing.
That's exactly what.
And so when I got to the tattoo shop, the guy was like, I called him on the way because a lot of shops won't tattoo palms. You know, there's like certain body parts they won't tattoo. And so I wanted to make sure that because I have this palm tattooed and it was done correctly. And it, you know, a lot of them fall out and I wanted to make sure he knew what he was doing. And so the guy's like, sure, come on, come on in. So I was like, all right. So then I had to explain like the reasoning behind this, right? And he's just looking at me and I'm like, oh man, this guy probably thinks I'm a lunatic. And so he said, okay. He's like, do you want me to like wipe it off and just draw an X on there and tattoo that? And I said, no, I want you to tattoo over this. And he said, okay. He's like, what is it? I said, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. He's like, okay, well, we can try to clean it, you know, cause I got to clean it and then we'll see if it comes off, whatever. So by this time, probably like 40 minutes has passed since this appeared on my palm. And, so he takes alcohol and like the green soap and he's like rubbing, like it's not coming off. It was like legit Sharpie.
Yeah.
Like if you were to color on yourself with Sharpie. And so then he tattooed over it. He's like, I don't know what it is, but like it looks like it's a legitimate marker, like a permanent marker that's on you.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. And then I told one of my friends at work, I was like, dude, like,
Dude, did so you tell them when
I told her, yeah, I told everybody in my like classroom where I was going, but
does the magician know that you tattooed it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is funny.
But
he's like, can I do that to you every single time? Because now I don't have to do any magic. Right. You just have the X in your hand.
But I told another teacher that works there that I'm friends with. She was like, what do you think that means? It's got to mean something. It has. I'm like, don't look too far into it because then I'm going to get scared.
No, it's just like he did a magic trick. That's all it was.
I don't know. But the stuff that this guy was phenomenal. Like the mentalist stuff is what got me.
Yeah.
Like I know magic. Like
can we, did you get information on how we can go see him? Like people like me who don't have the honor of having him in the.
I have, he gave me passes for me and 3 other people. So, I don't know yet what day I have to go by November.
For what?
To the Magic Castle.
Shut the front door.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But you have to take your kids.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I'm taking my mom for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But I have been there before. So
yeah.
Just for fairness, I guess you can ask the kids first. But I'm after family. So right. I'm not going to kick out family for it, but I'm after family. Right. And then all your work friends or whatever later.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I just thought it was like a super cool little story. Yeah. I was like, damn.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So today,
can he start making some of our people who are disappeared reappear, please? Because
Oh, the stories that we talk about.
Yeah,
I know.
I would love that.
Yeah, this story that we're talking about today was actually requested by a listener, and I am so sorry.
She's been sick.
No, but I can't remember her name.
Yeah, because I'm trying to give you an
But
excuse.
hold on, because I want to give her a little shout out if I can.
Okay.
If I can find her name. Okay. All right. So this case was actually requested or told to us by Melanie. And I'm not even going to try to say your last name, Melanie, because I'm going to slaughter it. But it starts with a K. Melanie 7011 on YouTube. So Melanie is the one that turned me on to this case. And she had commented on our video that we did of the Karen Reed case.
Yeah.
And there is a tie to, this happened in the same city, and there's a tie to the same police department, police officers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so she was like, "Oh, look into this case because this is another one that there's some
has a connection,
suspicious stuff going on." Yes, in Massachusetts. Yeah. So it's a very, very sad story. Not that any of the stories we do are very uplifting, but what bums me out so much is that, like, I love Massachusetts, man.
I feel like we have a lot of Texas, and now we're starting to get a lot of Massachusetts.
Yeah, and Shannon and I were there last year,
Beautiful.
the year before, and like, dude, we had
Last
so
year?
much. Was it last year? I don't remember.
It was last year?
Yeah, like, it bums me out because I really, I had so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really, really sad story. So
I just think people suck.
Yeah,
The human race sucks.
whatever city,
wherever
you're
it
in,
is,
just
yeah.
people suck. So, so Sandra grew up, and she had a dream of being a police officer. Instead, she became the victim of those entrusted with the badge. This is a story of Sandra Birchmore, a vibrant, kind-hearted 23-year-old from Canton, Massachusetts, whose life ended far too soon under the shadow of a scandal that has rocked a small town police department to its core. Sandra was only 12 years old when she joined the Stoughton Police Explorer program. This program was meant to help and guide youth into careers of law enforcement. For Sandra, it was more than an after-school activity. It was her calling. After losing both her mother and her grandmother by her teens, the program became a second home for her. The police officers were her mentors, or so she thought. One of the officers was Matthew Farewell. Then 27, he was a patrolman and an explorer instructor. Farewell had authority, respect, and according to later investigations, an interest in Sandra that went far beyond mentorship. It started with compliments, then texts, then an alleged sexual relationship. This was when Sandra was only 15 years old.
Who at 27 is attracted to a 15-year-old? Like, I can't see it.
I can't either, but some of the stories that we do, I feel like it's quite common.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm just like, and you
disgusting.
probably knew her since she was 12. Like, I just don't see how somebody...
And this, like, the Explorers program, like, this is a program that kids go into. They look up to police officers, wanting
Parents
to be...
trust them.
Yes. Like, I feel... Like, I would feel safe. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go drop my kid off, and they're being mentored by these people who are out, doing good in our society. And I don't know. This gives you a whole different look on things. So years passed, and Sandra remained in contact with Farewell, by now a decorated officer. According to thousands of recovered messages, this relationship never truly ended. So once she left the Explorer program, this was now like a full-blown relationship. Like,
that's insane.
Yeah. So he moved on. He got married. He had children. But Sandra stayed around. Like, she was, his side piece, basically, mistress, whatever you want to call it.
But if he liked her that much, why isn't she the one he's like pursuing for marriage? Because at this point, like, time goes on, she's getting older.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he figured he could marry somebody more his age and she was so young, and he groomed her.
I'm wondering too if he's already was in the relationship, and then got married, had kids.
Possibility.
But he had this.
Yeah. And if anybody, has answers to these questions, please chime in. Feel free to, to comment. So at 23, she was working as a teacher's assistant and pursuing a nursing degree. Friends described her as warm, loyal, and full of dreams. In late 2020, she had big news. She was pregnant. She told friends that she was excited. She even reached out to a newborn photographer. She believed that the baby's father was Officer Farewell, and she believed that he was going to step up, be present, be excited. But obviously, we're going to learn that was not the case. So instead of the nice little text messages she would get from him, he flipped a switch, and this guy became very, very mean. So Farewell asked her to delete all of their conversations that they had. He looked up how to erase data from his phone. And on February 1st, 2021, he visited Sandra at her apartment.
Does he not know by being a police officer that it's almost impossible
to erase anything?
It goes into the super cloud of, I don't know where things go to, but
and
they're stored forever and ever.
Yeah, it's nothing.
They never get deleted
nothing's
forever.
gone.
No.
Once it's there forever.
They can retrieve all that stuff.
And this is present day too. Like this is
Yeah.
present day. This isn't way back when. Like we're talking 2021 here. So.
Yeah, you would think he'd be smart enough to know
exactly. But clearly not.
Why was he not texting her from a burner phone to begin with since she was 15? Like he's an officer. Like I just don't, I don't know.
Because I feel too, a lot of times, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I feel like they probably feel invincible.
They're above the law.
Yeah, it's not going to happen to me. I can get out of it. I mean, look at Karen Reed, I mean, we have many examples, but, so, February 1st, this is when he comes to her apartment, and there's surveillance video inside of her apartment building, of him coming in. He comes in, he goes up, and there's actually video of her. She goes out, like gets the mail. She comes back in. She's in and out a couple times that day. But then he comes in and he's in a hoodie, like clearly trying to be in disguise and cover his face. Okay. But it was later, he was identified. Yes, that was 100% him. He's up in her apartment for 20 minutes. He leaves, and that was the last time she was seen alive. Now, mind you.
How far along was she pregnant?
She wasn't very far along. No, she wasn't very far along. I think 3 months maybe. But the real kicker is this. So this is February 1st. He leaves murdering her basically. And he goes to the hospital to take his wife to have a child.
So his wife was pregnant.
His wife was pregnant at the same time, ready to give birth. So they were months apart. So the next day he has a child that was born. So can you imagine what must have been like? I can't even begin to process like trying to plot someone's murder, right? Like, okay, so I have to do this, I have to do that. Like, you got to think of so many things, right? So not only are we doing that, but then you're like, okay, so I got to go up here, I got to murder this broad, and then I got to come back down and I got to take my wife to the hospital because we're gonna have a baby.
But to have
what the fuck,
the death of somebody you killed as the same day as or the day after your baby's born, like it's all the dates are all together. Like that's what you're gonna remember every time you celebrate your child's birthday.
It's just
that's crazy.
I mean, it's so wild to me. Like what? I mean, and you know what? I don't know. He's obviously a lunatic, so maybe nothing was going through his mind. I don't know. I'm just thinking as I mean, I'm not real put together, but I'm not, you know what I mean? Like as a normal person, like I'm just thinking, what must be going through this man's mind as he's trying to figure all of this out and like delete your text messages and do this and do that. And like, he had to have been watching her every move and like, dude. Okay. So she was 8 weeks pregnant. So she was, so she was 2 months pregnant. So 3 days later, Sandra's body was found in her apartment. She was a no-show. People started worrying about her at work. And obviously welfare check, she was found dead. Her cause of death was originally ruled a suicide.
So he made it look like that. He
Yes.
had to have.
Yes, he did.
Unless he was the responding officer and he determined. No, just kidding.
No, but there were ligature marks around her neck. She was tied to a closet door handle. None of her friends, none of her family believed that she would commit suicide, which I think is, obviously we saw it like with the Rebecca Zahau case, the Sparkles, Sparkles Mansion.
The one in San Diego.
And so unfortunately that one didn't turn out well, but I think family knows people enough to know. And with her just finding out that she was pregnant, her family was just like, there's absolutely no way that this would happen, because she was so excited. She had made future plans. And I think that that's like a big thing that people look into, is like, if they were going to end their life, they wouldn't be making future plans. You know, she had called a photographer, like she was planning on having this baby. So after everything was completed, Dr. Michael Bodden, I don't know if you've heard about him. He's like a very, very popular forensic pathologist. He's gone in and done autopsies on like very, very famous people, very famous cases. And his stuff is just, it's crazy to watch, like the stuff that he does. But his findings were that it was a homicide.
Yeah.
So he said that the key evidence was a fractured hyoid bone, which is that bone right here. And they said that in suicide, that bone rarely breaks. So
It takes a lot of pressure to break that bone.
So, but it's common in strangulation.
Can we get our certificate in forensic pathology now?
Yeah, right. Where do I sign? So the deeper that the authorities dug, the more disturbing the picture became. Texts were revealed, years of grooming. So it wasn't just by him. There were two other officers. So there were this guy, Matthew. He had a twin brother. His name was William. And then there was another guy, Robert Devine. And they were also to have had sexual relationships with her when she was underage. So there were these three, I think, that were kind of mentoring her. And Matthew was just the one that continued to pursue her as time went on. But so it was three of them, which is even more disturbing. Yeah. So,
and they're all officers.
They're all officers. Yeah. And they're all running this, this program,
the Explorer
program,
where they have access to minors.
Yes. So as this stuff is all coming out, these three officers resign, which to me just screams guilt, but
yeah,
whatever. So the department was faced with harsh criticism, but for Sandra's family and the public, the damage was done. In August of 2024, the biggest development yet, Matthew Farwell was indicted on federal charges of killing a witness. Prosecutors believed he strangled Sandra to keep her from revealing the truth about their relationship, about the pregnancy, and about his abuse of power. So, I think that happened pretty quickly, considering that this took place in 2021. I feel like sometimes these are things that we don't see that happen until 20, 30 years later. And like we've said before, like by that time you try to interview people, they're old, they're passing away. They don't remember.
They forget.
They don't remember details. It happens, This was a pretty quick, this happened pretty quickly. So, in December of 2022, Sandra's family filed a wrongful death suit against the three officers. But the criminal case against Matthew Farwell may finally bring justice, or at least accountability, for a life betrayed. He's awaiting trial, and the charges carry a mandatory life sentence. So,
well, yeah, he took a life and a life of the baby. So
exactly. So, it's really sad when this stuff happens in general, but when this stuff happens, And police officers are the people that are doing this. It's so sad because, you know, growing up and even working in a school, and I work with special needs children, they look up to the officers. We have a resource officer on campus, and anytime they see the officer around, they're constantly, you know, like they're drawn to them, and the officers are wonderful, and they give them their little, you know, their little stickers and their badges, and kids are just grown up and taught like to respect police officers, respect, you know, firemen and all of this and that. And to know that like this 12-year-old girl was obviously taught that, and this is what came of it.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting.
I'm not surprised that she didn't pursue law enforcement.
Well,
that she went into nursing, because you see the corruption before you're even 18 years old. You see this abuse of power.
Yeah, and it's exactly what it is. Yeah. Because I feel like, and I'm not.
It's not all officers.
No.
There's people like this in every single field, in teaching and
everything.
You know, every single field. There are people like this, which is disgusting, but they are there. But we do so many stories where officers are involved in this corruption and the crime and the cover-ups, and then in pursuing criminals they know that aren't guilty because they're covering up for somebody else.
Someone else, yeah.
I just don't understand it. If you are not upright and a good why become a police officer?
Exactly.
Do something else.
100%.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I agree 100%. So, it's really sad. And it's even more sad that this is the same department that, you know, that we're dealing with the Karen Reed case. Like, it's the same. What's happening within this department? Like, you know, it's so sad. And that, you know, that's something that,
and that's around and you know what? It's like 2022 is not that long ago. So all these officers work together.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
not even like, oh, you know, 20 years ago this happened, and then in the future this happened. So what a coinkydink. It's the same department, but it's all these officers that work in this department. Yeah. We need to get, I don't know, sometimes when schools are failing, the state comes in and they take over.
Exactly.
I think somebody needs to come in and take over at this police department and clean it up.
Yeah, it's really, really sad because they're clearly going down because, you know, the Karen Reed case is trial is still going. If you guys want to watch coverage of that, Annie Elise does a live every single morning. She actually was there in the courtroom, I believe.
For some of it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, cool. Yeah, she's doing like a day-by-day thing, breakdown of, you know, the whole trial and everything. But yeah, it's really sad that this is the stuff that is happening and going on with people that we're supposed to respect and that are supposed to help us.
Yeah.
You know, these are the people that you call when there's an emergency. These are the people that we're supposed to call to help us.
When these things are happening to you, these are the people that you're supposed to call, but they're the ones
doing
the perpetrators.
They're doing worse things to you, you know? Like,
that's crazy. I just want to say too, last week I was in jury duty. And I know a lot of people try to avoid jury duty because they think, oh my gosh, we go down to the courthouse, sit all day. But for the first time ever, I wasn't put on a jury, but I was called up as juror number 4 for a while just for questioning. But I was kind of disappointed that they excused me after, you know.
Well, this was after she told the judge that she had a true crime podcast. So I wonder why.
I was trying to be
She's
upfront.
over here trying to pitch the podcast. She's texting me. She's like, oh, I'm at the court right now. And I'm like pimping out the podcast to the judge. I'm like,
you know what? I did it to everybody there. Everybody's there for a reason. They're here to listen to a crime. So I'm like, you know what? Just full disclosure. I do a podcast, 50 States of Madness on YouTube and on Spotify and anywhere you listen to your podcast. Follow us on all your podcast platforms. I had the microphone in my hand and everything. He was like, this is the first for me. I don't even know. The judge was like, I don't even know what to say. Yeah. I'm like, well, I'll just let you know.
The effect she has on everybody.
I was like, I'll just let you know that I won't, I definitely, if I'm on this case, I won't talk about it. But I didn't get put on the case, so now I can. No, but I didn't even sit for the
You're like,
case.
this is going to be next week's episode.
We'll let you know what he did. So no, but yeah. So, but I'm saying like, it's actually, pretty interesting.
I loved
to go to the
jury
court. Yeah, to go
I loved
to the
it.
courthouse. Yeah,
I went to, when I.
I've never been chosen.
Oh, you
been
have?
chosen?
I have. Yeah, I served.
never-
I did. I did one case, but it was just like a local case, like a traffic violation, a car accident thing. But then, probably like 15 or 20 years ago, I got called to the criminal building in downtown LA, and I got put on a case. It was very interesting, but it was I can't say the word. It was an R word case. It was very, very sad, but it was very interesting because Law and Order is one of my favorite TV shows, and I literally felt like I was living in an episode of Law and Order every single day.
That's what you go down there and you feel
I was like Olivia Benson. I was just like,
it's like, excuse me, can you repeat that? Objection, Your Honor. Objection. Badgering the witness.
I swear.
Wait, I need to take notes. Can you repeat the person's name, please?
I swear. That's what kept going through my mind. I'm like, dude, this is the coolest shit ever. I'm so excited.
I actually, the first time I'm like, oh man, whatever, please get me out of here. But by the second day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually hope they pick me.
Yeah, it was, it was
like,
cool. I
yeah,
liked it.
it was actually really interesting to see how the justice system works.
Yeah.
But just like,
don't always agree with it, but it's interesting.
They take forever to pick a jury. That's all I know. It's
Oh
like,
my
this one
God.
took so long to pick a jury.
Was it the criminal building you were at, or where were you at?
Fullerton North.
Oh, so you weren't at the criminal building. Okay. Oh,
No,
I forget.
no.
You're Orange County.
Orange
Okay.
County, yeah.
Okay.
I head over there. I go
she's
in that
Orange
direction.
County.
Thank you.
Well, not Orange County.
Well, No. So
Anyway.
but yeah. Thank you. I mean, I don't know.
We have a trip coming up,
We do.
and I'm so excited. I can't.
She's been Googling everything we can do.
No, let me just tell you. So there's been places in the United States, obviously, that, well, first of all, I never thought I would travel, because if you guys have listened to us for a while, you know that I, come hell or high water, I was not going to get on a plane. And then 2 or 3 years ago, I finally got on a plane, and I've been
You can't stop her now.
a travel whore since.
Yes.
So
It's addicting.
anyway, there's just some places that I have always wanted to visit, but just never thought that I would, because it's just not like it's not like a New York or like a Massachusetts or whatever. And so we're going to Ohio.
Yeah. What's in Ohio?
Oh, let me tell you.
Well, not everything is in Ohio, but Ohio,
We're close
Dayton,
to
Ohio,
everything.
is like near Kentucky and near near other states that you can
West
get
Virginia.
to in a couple hours.
Yeah.
So
So Waverly Hills has always been somewhere I've really, really, really wanted to visit. And the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum has also been somewhere that I've also wanted to visit.
How far is that from where we're staying?
I think it's 3.5 hour drive. It's in West Virginia.
I'm telling you, it's
So
everything's around there.
the other night, I should have been doing work for the podcast, but instead, I mean, I guess technically this could be considered work for the podcast.
It's good. Future episodes.
I was like, I literally I have like this map, and it has all like of the most haunted places in the United States. And when you have been to one and visited one, then you put like a little ghost in it, right? So my goal is to like fill up this whole map, right? And that area has always been somewhere where I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do in Ohio, dude? Like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to take a plane just to go visit one fucking sanitarium, like whatever. But now that I've kind of like learned my geography, I'm like, I don't know if 2 weeks is going to be enough.
there and I can visit all these places.
I have a
Not just
list
one.
of things
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. She did tell me today. She's
Yeah,
like, I
so
got
I'm
to
like-
send me the list.
I'm really, really
I already got us tickets for the
Yeah.
Waverly, so
I'm really excited.
We'll see.
So
Little what is it? Paranormal investigation time there overnight. We're gonna be overnight over there. So
I'm so excited.
yeah,
I'm so excited.
12 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah. So we're doing that at the end of July. So we'll be there for 2 weeks.
I leave
So maybe
for
we could-
3 weeks.
Yeah, she's
So-
leaving next week. She's going to be gone for 2 weeks, come home, and then
3
we're going to
weeks.
leave. Oh, yeah, she's going to be gone for 3 weeks. She's going to London, Germany.
Yeah.
I don't know
No,
where
not
the-
Germany.
I don't know where the fuck she's going anymore. You
The
going to
UK,
London?
Ireland, and Scotland.
Okay.
Yeah, London.
That's
Yeah,
where she's
we'll be.
going.
I'll be in London. I don't
you
even
gonna-
know how to do an English accent.
Are you going to be close to Helen?
I won't. Well, kind of. Helen, if Helen wants to meet me in the Chatworth's house, Darcy's house.
She's in Barrow and Furnace.
Yeah, it's like near Manchester, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Helen,
Like
are
off
you,
near,
Are you
down near Liverpool, Manchester?
I have no idea where you at, Helen.
Yeah, I think I'll be 2.5 hours away from her. Is the closest I'll be.
Stop it.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, you should
Helen,
come.
I can't. I have a lot of things holding me back. I could go, but
Reach out.
yeah, I have some things that I need to stay home for during this period of time. So, but Helen, if you could meet Shannon,
That would be awesome.
That would be so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be super jealous, but
That would be awesome.
but we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll try to make it happen.
You know what?
Organize that.
Helen, you go to Salem quite a bit, but your next trip to Salem, me and Shannon will meet you in Salem.
Yes, for sure.
She just got back from there because it was just her birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy late
Helen.
birthday, Helen. If you guys don't know who Helen is, Helen Pfeiffer is my favorite author in the whole world. Go read her books. She's phenomenal. The Vanishing Bookstore. Oh my God. Amazing. Shannon and I have been in her books before.
Yeah.
I'm a serial killer in her last Morgan Brooks book. Like,
Don't tell us how it ends. Don't tell us how it ends.
I won't. But yeah, so we'll meet you in Salem, Helen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited about our trip to Ohio. And so maybe we could do some lives out there. Maybe we could do like a YouTube live because we did that when we were in Milwaukee. Where did we do it? From our hotel room?
We've done it from multiple places.
No,
oh
'cause-
yeah, that's right. We sat down in Milwaukee.
At the Pfister Hotel.
Yeah, and we did one. So.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do some stuff out there, depending on, our busy schedule. I'm so excited. But anyway, thank you for joining us for another week. And we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.